Hi girls, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to take your survey data and organize it into a spreadsheet. These spreadsheets are available through Google Docs, and what you need to do is click into your Google Drive, so on that little icon, get into your Google Drive. When it asks you to create, you click on spreadsheet, and then you get to a blank spreadsheet like this. Okay, so in working with a spreadsheet, you need to decide on a couple of things. One is to look at what kind of questions you've asked and then to organize them in the columns. So as you can see with this spreadsheet, what I've done, if we compare it to our survey, is that in the first column, in column A, I've written the participant and I've numbered each participant. So that's each person that I survey, and I give the survey a number. So you'll notice if I scroll right up to the start of this document, this survey here is participant 1, and all the information in this row corresponds to participant 1. Then I've put gender in the second column, age in the next column. Then the question that I've asked in the survey is, do you believe that global warming is an important issue in today's society? Put that in the third column. Then I've put in there the response to the second question and the third question as well. Okay, so you can organise your information like this. It's quite easy to get in there. It does take a little bit of getting used to, so I'm going to talk you through now how we actually do that. Okay, so first things first, when you've got a blank stat sheet, like so, what you should really do is label that top column, and you can see I've already done that here. So I've got a label for each of the questions that I've asked or the information that I've collected from each participant. Now, a really good idea is that if you have more than 32 participants or 31 participants, you'll notice that you have to keep scrolling up and down, and when you do that, you actually lose your titles. So what you can do is go to View and freeze rows, and you can select which row you want to freeze. And now I'm selecting the first row because I've got all my title information in row 1. So I'll go freeze row 1. And what that does is it puts a big line under it so that no matter how far I scroll down, I always know what each column is asking. So that's a really handy tip to do as well. So first off, go down and put in all your participant numbers. So 1 to 50 if you've done 50 survey, or 1 to 30 if you've done 30 surveys. Obviously, the more people you survey, the longer your data organizing will take, or your data collating will take. Then just use a code, M for male, F for female, and just pop that all in there as it corresponds to each of your participants. So if we look at this first one, okay, this is participant 1, so I'll put participant 1 in. Then it says here that they're female, so I'll just put in F. Or actually, I'll do that in capitals. And in their age range, they've selected 50 to 59. Now I'm just going to go 50 to 59, and I need to keep that format, so no spaces between the dash or anything like that, because later on it'll become really important when I start sorting the data. So make sure that you're consistent with your format of how you write things. Do you believe global, I think that's supposed to be global warming, global warming is important? And so if we go here, this person has responded yes. I'm not going to write yes, I'm just going to write a Y, because I know that corresponds to yes. And then in terms of countries' contributions to the greenhouse effect, where do you think Australia is placed? Okay, I'm just going to write 2 or 3 as they've written it there. And then finally, the final question is if you've asked them if action is required, and they've said they don't know. So you can just write there, don't know. Okay, so that's how you input data for one participant. Second participant, same kind of thing. Notice I've got a little 2 numbered next to the survey. I can do the same thing. So I go 2, female. Again, I go and input the age. The age is 60 plus. So I'm going to make sure every time I input 60 plus, I use exactly the same format. so that I can sort using that. Yes, they do believe in global warming. Whoops, I got rid of that yes, so I'll put both of them in. Next up, they think Australia is ranked 8, so I'll put 8 in there. And get the politicians to take more direct action. Now, I'm just going to write exactly what she said. Get the politicians to take more action. Okay. Now, you'll notice that in writing that whole sentence, it's actually gone outside of the boundaries of this particular column. So there are two things I could do. I could just keep stretching the column. So if you hover your cursor over this line up here, you get the double-sided arrow. So I can either stretch it, or if I don't want to stretch it, I want to keep it all together, I can actually highlight that cell, click on Format, and click on Text Wrap. And what that does is it just condenses it all down into that one space that I've predetermined there. Now, if you want to view all your information in a sort of a screenshot, then that's a really helpful way to go about it. Okay, so you can adjust your columns, or you can use Text Wrap, which is under Format. So what you should end up with is something like this. So I've got my participants 1 to 30. You can see that all of them have information about their gender, all have information about their age, all have information about the questions that they've answered as well. And you can see it's a bit random, and I have bolded the text that is associated with people that have responded to their gender being male, just to help me kind of see the distribution of male and female. So now I've got all this information. So the next question is, what do you do with it? And that information will be in the next video. Okay, hope that helped you with some of your data collation and your data organising. If you've done your survey through Google, what is it? Google, what do they call them? Google Forms. This will all be generated for you in some form. Now, it may not actually help you get your head around about the information that people have put in there if Google Forms does it all for you, and you'll need to actually really closely go in and look at what people are responding to get your head around what people are responding, whereas this data entry process actually helps you get a sense of, well, what are people saying? What are people answering? Can I see any patterns evolving? And that will inform the next stage of the process, which is data sorting and data analysis. Okay, so I hope this has helped. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions.